By the way, who do you think wins? Your old friend Nathan or him?
I'm just curious to see what Nathan, how he's been living his life. Has he been training? Has he been doing all the things you need to do to be able to compete? From what I hear from Jake stays pretty much training year round, and from what I hear from people in the circles, he comes a lot to Miami, so I always know he's at certain gyms. He's been staying in there grinding. It's boxing. It's his first boxing match. There's a lot of advantages that Jake has, I think, going into this fight. But all that being said, I mean, Nate is Nate. I could see him making this a dog fight, taking him to the later rounds, and then hitting the sprint after like round 5, 4 and up, just sprinting right at Jake. I don't think Jake's ever met. Nate's not the best athlete for sure, but he's never met a competitor like that just won't take no for an answer. If he doesn't knock out Nate dead, Nate's gonna find a way to get back up and get in his face and keep pushing that pace and make him run a hard mile, run after run after round after round. So I'm very interested to see this fight. It's kind of one of those where I wouldn't be surprised if this guy won or that guy won. I know that's a very broad answer, but I feel like either one of them could win on the right night.
You're sitting on the fence.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the. That's a good term, right? I'm sitting on the fence.
Everyone believes that because Jake is bigger, that he's going to have the advantage with the size. Jake got one tool. He going to duck his head like this and do this. Amateur-ass boxing, And it takes more than that, It takes more than that. So all we got to do is worry about a stupid right hand. When it comes to boxing, he really don't got that boxing like that. And as the rounds go later, it go more and more in our favor, And another thing you guys don't realize is Nate can hit, I've been winning some rounds with him. And then, pow! I'm like, oh, shit. How it goes sometimes. Look how when he hit Leon, had him on skates. So y'all don't really understand his power, too. The kid's got power. Wait till you let him put that size on. He's going to have some power, too. And I don't know. I think we might sleep Jake, be honest.
Yeah, a lot's made of like Nate's actual boxing ability, right? Because MMA is a bit different. You got to work on different ranges and stuff. But everyone says, well, if you watch Nate just spar boxing, he's actually really, really good. I mean, Andre Ward's giving him props and everything. You've seen him in the gym. What's he like with just his hands?
That's a great thing to bring up. Is I feel like for MMA, like a lot of times they got dropped in sometimes in their fights. But what they do is they'll go like this, and this works in boxing. That works for boxing where I can shield up and the big glove will protect more. And the MMA, they slide through, they still get around. And so I think that their style is even better for boxing, And so he'll do way better. I don't think Jay's getting past 6 rounds. I bet at round 6, he goes down.
It's not an easy fight, just because Nate's a grizzled veteran with a lot of experience. And Jake's a new guy who's on YouTube. He's got the money and the amenities to surround himself with the best people and dedicate himself to fighting. And he's younger and more explosive. And I think Diaz's boxing is good for MMA. It's a completely different thing.
Yes.
It's a completely different thing. So
are you leaning Jake?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I do wish that Nathan maybe took this fight 5 years earlier. I'm a bit nervous, if I'm honest with you. Jake Paul was big, young, fresh, can hit, supposedly. I just wish Nathan maybe went into this. Look at me calling him his full name, Nathan. I just wish he went into this. Yeah, respect, right?
Yeah, respect.
I wish he'd done this like 5 years ago.
So that means that you're a little bit worried.
I'm a little bit worried. I am. And I'm a big Nate Diaz fan. And I'm a bit worried that maybe he gets caught. Maybe he gets caught. Because look, we know he gets caught, right? Even in MMA, he gets caught. It seems to wake him up and you can't put him down, but I mean, Jake's a big boy. You've interviewed and met Jake personally. He's not small. He's a big lump. So I think I lean towards Jake, but I mean, all my money would be behind Nate.
It's gonna be a good fight. People look at the that mid session that Nate had, and they just misread the play, man. That those type of shots, like they don't look pretty, but they keep coming. They keep coming, different angles. And, he's got some miles on him. He's been around a long time. So, he's got to show that he can take the shot from Jake Paul because Jake has a natural right hand. It's got power on it. So if he can take that right hand from Jake Paul, it's going to be a tougher fight than people realize, man, because Nate's going to keep coming.
Nate Diaz is very fit, isn't he?
Yeah,
he he doesn't look like he's fit. Like when you look at his body and his shape, but he's super fit. I think Jake Paul has an issue with blowing out a little bit. I know the weight. It's a
85.
What's the weight? It's
185.
yes. Yeah. Nate Diaz has never been near that as a mixed martial artist, so that might be an issue. But he's a decent boxer. He's got good hands. Nate Diaz. I'm gonna side with Nate Diaz.
MMA, Nate would throttle him. Boxing, I might hand it to Jake. Like Jake's just been training pure boxing, and this is going to be Nate Diaz's first time doing that. Nate Diaz, though, and his brother both are cardio machines and have been fighting for their entire life, and they're scrappy.
At this stage, I don't know. I just think he's older. Jake is big. He's stronger. He's naturally the bigger man. He's younger. He's naturally bigger, stronger. I think a younger Nate Diaz would have just whooped Jake. But now I really don't know. I would lean more towards Jake just because he's bigger. But if Nate could take Jake Paul's punches, he'll beat him, because Nate is like he's like a heavy bag. Like you can hit him and hit him and hit him, and it's nothing happens. And then if you have that mental pressure on you the whole fight, Jake Paul might break. But it depends on how much Nate Diaz has left.
Who wins, Jake or Nate?
Jake or Nate? I feel like Jake Paul is gonna win.
I'm a huge Nate Diaz fan, but Jake Paul's on kind of like on my team a little bit. It feels like, right? Damn, I don't know. I don't know. Jake's only 26 years old. Nate's like 37, I think. So I think this is the right time for Jake to take that fight. And it's 8 rounds. I think his cardio holds up for 8 rounds. If it was longer, I think I would favor Diaz more. But it's like 50-50 almost for me, because Nate's fucking Nate. He's a dog. He's not easy to put away. And he's been around. He's been sparring with high-level boxers. If I had to pick, I'd maybe lean towards Diaz, but I'm not sleeping on Jake Paul at all.
Man, Jake's a big favorite, like minus 250 right now. He opened as, which seems a little disrespectful to Nate. No,
I think the lines are going to drop down a little bit as we get closer. I can't see it staying there.
You got to roll with the OG Nate. You got to roll with the OG Nate, man. I got nothing but love for Nate, and I think he does good. I think he does well, man. He's a boxer. He's a boxing based guy in MMA, so now he gets to actually box and stuff, and his reach and. Man, he can hit. He can crack, bro. His arms is long and he can crack. So I'm excited for that one. And I heard a few behind the scenes stuff about Nate and why that fight took so long to come in. He's trying to get all his boys paid too. So Nate is that dude, bro. He's that guy.
Nate's been boxing such high level boxers his entire career, boxing, sparring, just straight boxing, working with boxing coaches for so long. I think Jake's going to be a little bit more bigger. I think he's going to be a little bit more powerful. Got it. But right now I don't really know. I do think it's going to be more of a competitive fight than most people think. I don't know what Nate's going to do much different than Anderson. I guess they have different styles, but both southpaws. Is it 8 rounds?
8 rounds, yeah. 185.
8 rounds. 185. See, Jake's a big boy. Jake has some serious power. And if Nate's probably ready. Jake likes to set up that right hand, and Nate's probably got a pretty smart team. How hard is Nate going to train for this fight? I think that's what it kind of comes down to. I can't imagine him not taking it serious. This is a massive fight. Him, he's not going to want to lose to Jake Paul. So I think he'll take this fight very, very serious. But I'm excited for it. Very, very excited for this fight.